seems the defund the police movement officially just died because Portland, Oregon, the city that became a nationwide symbol of lawlessness during the summer 2020 riots and beyond, the city that slashed millions from its police budget and then saw an explosion of crime. What do you think? That city has decided it's had enough of its soft-on-crime policies, has voted out its DA. Far-left prosecutor Mike Schmidt has been defeated tonight by his more moderate challenger Nathan Vasquez in the Multnomah County District Attorney's race. Schmidt conceding the race just moments ago. Vasquez, a Republican for most of his career who campaigned on tough-on-crime platform, on top by more than 7 points, it looks like, with 86% of the vote in. But it's been called. It's just the latest signal from a deep blue city, historically one of the furthest left cities in America. They're tired of being overrun by crime. The stats from DA Schmidt's tenure are rough. Homicides in Portland gone up 228% since he took office in 2020. There have been nearly 10,000 car thefts per year in a city with a population of 800,000. That's more than 4 times the national average per capita. And after drug possession was decriminalized, opioid overdose deaths skyrocketed by over 500%. Now, it's not fair, of course, to blame DA Schmidt for all of the crime spike, but there's no question the DA's policies didn't help. Think back to the summer of 2020 riots, where Portland became a national symbol for lawlessness, arson, looting, rampant. There were scores of attacks on law enforcement officers when the police badly needed DA Schmidt to have their back. Instead, he announced he would not prosecute most misdemeanor offenses relating to the riots and even some felonies, and even refused to prosecute for interference with a police officer. With crime up in every category across the board, the number of cases he prosecuted went way down. Number of cases his office charged has gone down by nearly 1/3 from his predecessor. Way more crime, way fewer criminal charges. And so Portland seems to have had enough. Just the latest blue city to decide they want change. Back in 2022, San Francisco recalled its progressive prosecutor, Chesa Boudin, over a spike in lawlessness and drugs. Last year, embattled St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner resigned from office over heavy public criticism for seeming to want to prosecute cops more than criminals. And Chicago State's Attorney Kim Foxx not running for a 3rd term this year amid voter discontent with some of her policies, and others may soon follow. Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascón, whose radical policies we've previously talked about on the show, barely survived a primary back in March with just 25% of the vote, is now an overwhelming underdog against his more moderate opponent, independent candidate Nathan Hochman, in November's general election. Yet another deep blue city that appears to be fed up with crime. Joining us now is Nathan Hochman, former federal prosecutor and the candidate running against DA Gascón this fall in Los Angeles. Thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so some people are going to say, man, L.A., liberal city, how is the more liberal DA not going to get reelected?
And if they make that argument, you point to the other cities in which Democrats, for instance, in San Francisco, represented over 90% of the electorate. Chesa Boudin was recalled. You had the same situation just now in Portland, where Democrats represented over 90% of the electorate, and sure enough, the moderate challenger beat the George Gascón, effectively, of Portland. So I think you point out that George Gascón got a historic low, 25% of the vote, which means that 75% of the voters rejected George Gascón. And my job is to unify that 75% that cuts across all political, demographic, and geographic lines.
And what is your response when he says, well, I'm just trying to make it more equitable, I'm just trying to make sure particular minority groups aren't singled out, etc. What is your response?
So George Gascón identifies problems, but it's his solutions that have failed Los Angelenos. When you basically say you're not going to prosecute to the full extent violent and serious criminals on the front end, and then you're going to let them out before they serve their sentences on the back end, but you promise that safety is going to get better in Los Angeles, again, the promise made no sense when he made it back in 2020, and the data has shown that the promise was an absolute and complete lie. Violent crime is up every single year compared to the year he came into office. Property crime has gone up double digits. Shoplifting is up 81%. Hate crimes over 100%. Fentanyl killings in Los Angeles will kill more 18 to 35-year-olds than anything else. George Gascon has been an absolute failure for people's safety. And what I believe in 2024 will happen is people will ask this question: who's going to keep them and their families safe for the next 4 years? George Gascon, with a failed record of safety and literally someone who's never personally prosecuted or defended a criminal case, or Nathan Hochman, with 34 years of criminal justice experience as a prosecutor and a defense attorney who wants to bring back smart accountability to holding criminals liable for their actions.
Look, we'll see what happens. And I've said this before, George Gascon is invited to come on the show. We've invited him to come on before. He has thus far not agreed to come on. I don't want people to think that I'm just having on Nathan Hochman. I won't invite on George Gascon. He is invited to come on the show. Nathan Hochman, who did come on the show, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.